how do we get into a situation wherein billions can be stolen? Which kind of system do we run? That billions can be stolen and everybody is just feeling cool. Because the process of access to politics is monetized. Today, politics is big business. So corruption must be big business because it's limited to those who have stolen, who will steal, or those who know those who have stolen to sponsor them to office. So in that wise, the scramble to steal is a permanent feature, a permanent phenomenon in the ruling class. So when you know this, the use of judiciary cannot differ, cannot go far from this understanding. It's a question of what will the judiciary do. Law in any system is a ruling class bias system. Today, if somebody steals gold, it won't be opportune to have plea bargain, but they will call it stealing direct. But if somebody steals 1 billion, the law may say misappropriation. So in that wise, you will have access to plea bargain. So that tells you law itself is class biased. So you cannot expect law that is a creation of a corrupt ruling capitalist system to now be a saint or to now start fighting those who establish it in the first system. I've been detained on occasions during my student senior day, and I know millions, thousands, let me say hundreds, even in Lesha prison, Yagonku, everywhere, that were on awaiting trial for years. You can now see that even somebody who has stolen just a packet of cigarettes is languishing in jail. But somebody who has stolen billions and is occupying a sensitive position will have access to many lawyers, sons. So the judge is bound to know that these differences are features of our law. You look at corruption, assuming now that you have a working class party or a working class government in Nigeria. Corruption will only be defined on the basis of, do your legitimate income justify your assets? It's as simple as ABC. Under that system, then law and judiciary judicial process will be defined on the basis of not legal technicalities, but on reality. Mr. A, Y, Z, you own these properties, but your legitimate income cannot justify this wealth. So come and prove it. It's not going to be the other way around. So people should appreciate that we cannot get over all this judicial extravaganza or bonanza without getting over the established neoliberal system that brought it into being. Because law itself is not biased. It's class biased. Law is biased according to which class is ruling. In other countries, take for instance, in China, it's obvious. You steal state money, you are gone. Why? Because they are coming from an experience. Here in Nigeria, we are not coming from any experience. The experience we are coming from is just the same thing we are doing. We didn't go through any revolutionary stress. We didn't go through any serious war, any serious, ruling, any serious working class movement that is sustainable before we got our independence. So our ruling class is so over-pampered. They are so roguish. And my fear is that even the so-called activists now define and design gods, the ruling class god they do worship. So all of them now worship different gods in the same temple. How do you justify where even your so-called leaders, be it in the West, in the South, in the North, they not declare their asset publicly? Their income, cannot justify their assets. And you say, that is what you call selective justice. So how do you keep your own thief? You praise your own thief. You you idolize your own ruling class Steve, and you want other people not to. We must know that we continue in this way, except we, Nigerian people, are ready to have a working class, genuine working class party that will have a fundamental ideological difference between the neoliberal capitalist system now. Then you can now start, redrafting law, judicial process, the legislative process, and of course the executive. You ask yourself too, why is it up to date that none of the ruling parties has declared how much they spent on elections, which is even, is there in the electoral law? So when you have not done that, except the president and the vice, and I think Senator Sonny, who have declared the asset publicly to a certain extent, none has done so. Governors, legislators, even the judges. So in that wise, how do you now say you just want to maybe make a show off of one or two individuals? It's not going to happen. Look at it now. Some people feel that Buhari came in with good intention. But it has shown us that good intention is not enough. Why? He too decided to continue neoliberal policy of Jonathan regime, i.e. privatization, deregulation, commercialization, devaluation. So you cannot go with this and expect any change. Today, less than 10 billionaires Nigerians have enough wealth to bail 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. So how do you make a nation to develop like that? Today, many senators, House of Rep members are collecting dual salaries. They are collecting as pensioner, as state governors, they are collecting as assisting, legislators. So how do you make government, how do you make development like that? How do you not want people to corrupt? To be a governor now, you can't spend less than 4 billion. Consultatively, I'm not talking of state like Lagos State or River State. So now, even for the Christmas, do make profit in Nigeria now. So if somebody now spends 4 billion minimally to become governor, because politics has been monetized, you want him to go there and not go to steal? He's going to steal. You want him to go there not to have his own son? He's going to have his own son. You want him to go there not to have his own judges? Because he knows he's going to steal and the law may run against him, he's going to have his own judges. So it's going to be a holistic approach to issue. We are going to get there. It may be gradual, but we don't need to be frustrated. I always tell people, we were in Nigeria, Nigerians are not different from any other citizen. It's just a question of activists and organizations that are looking for change genuinely to have confidence, first of all, in themselves, have confidence in the working class, have confidence in the mass movement, capacity to change the existing system. If not, we go this way. It's like that. It's as simple as ABC. We'll be talking this way, and we continue to talk this way. If I cannot become governor of my state, have I not been limited? If I cannot even become chairman of my local government, have I not been limited? You see what happened in Lagos State of recent. The election, even to the local government, will be determined by godfathers. So in that wise, we go nowhere. When you support somebody, you spend about 10 billion to be governor, and you preside over billions in the state, and you want the person not to embezzle money. We are even saying that even on the basis of political system we're running, is too extravagant and ambiguous. Why do all parties, why do they need to be national? Socialist Party of Nigeria will be trying to register for the past 3 years now. We fulfill all constitutional procedure. At a stage, INEC did not register, so we went to court. INEC came back to say they wanted to settle out of court. For almost 1 year, they wasted our time. Now we are back. So now, how do you justify that every party must be national? How do you justify that every party must have executive member cutting across 2/3 of the Why? So in that wise, it's going to be those who are going to be winning election, it's going to be people who are money bags, who have stolen enough money. And why not allow party to have orientation, to have focus within the scope? It may be a local government. It may be a state. It may be, their interest may be climate change. Their interest may be small and medium scale farmers. Their interest may be just to have primary school as their focus. And they campaign on that. If it's just a local government, they can. So you cannot decree organic unity among individuals or parties. This party will gravitate naturally if they need to march. We've seen instances, even under military. Now, this is almost getting worse because now democracy is being used as a blackmail on the people. And what is democracy? It's not only voting and voting. No, it's about development. People want to advance. People want to go to school. People want to have money in their pockets. People want to work and get money. People want to feel secure. People want to get minimal housing. People want to get something in their stomach. This is what democracy is all about. If these are not being achieved, democracy becomes a blackmail. And of course, it cannot continue this way, except we fight, we struggle, we continue to struggle. There's no alternative. I have not seen. What next to do really is that government cannot do anything because, judiciary is there, and they told us that judges act on the basis of facts and evidences before them. And the system has so made the judge like a god. Even if all the facts are there.
Yeah, exactly.
If all the facts, they say it doesn't see the facts. So what are you going to talk about? So government can only, well, they have, with this Acquittal of Saraki, no doubt, the anti-corruption battle of the government has suffered a serious fate. You know, nobody is believing it anymore. I'm not saying that Saraki could have been jailed or not, but the reality of life is that Saraki's property, asset, is more than his legitimate income. Because this is a man, for the past years, has not worked beyond state. It's only in Nigeria that you are led to be a thief, a big thief, instead of you to file affidavit of urgency so that your name can be restored. Then you start filing frivolous application, delay. You say no, court has no jurisdiction. You start from lower court, appeal, supreme. They say, okay, it has jurisdiction. You allege judge is biased. They change that judge. When another judge resumes, then you feign sickness. This is a man that is, this is a man that is healthy. The next appearance, he will say he has cancer of the scrotum, cancer of the heart. He has every kind of disease. So he goes to, and the judge and the lawyer will come, my lord, the law will not want to try a corpse. That is part of the law we are talking about, that the man will be given the opportunity to travel. Before he spends 6 months abroad, another bigger thief is picked at the theater. The Nollywood continues. I have concluded that it's either we fight, change the system, all of us will lament to our grave. It's like that. The ruling class, no class shift power on their own volition. It's not possible. They will continue to steal. The next election is coming. You'll be surprised. EFCC Alumni Club is becoming a prestigious club now, that the members of EFCC Alumni Club will now be the big players in 2019. So the Alumni Club of EFCC now will come to power again and nothing will happen. So except we start fighting it now, we don't need all these big parties to survive. Let parties that have ideological differences be registered. Let small parties be registered. Anti-corruption war cannot be left to legal alone. No, it's political. You must fight it on the basis of ideology, which Buhari is lacking. It's lacking. You must fight the political ideology because you cannot continue with neoliberal policy. Okay, now if you want to privatize Commonwealth, who are going to buy? Are they not those who have stolen? And when they do that, then other people will be scrabbling to get their own shares. When you say politics should be commercialized, even Buhari himself, up to date, you have not known those who contributed to his victory. Yeah. The same applies to PDP. And that itself undermines anti-corruption war, because you must start from that basis, which is even by law, electoral law. Case of corruption is not a big issue. It's not what you go and bring all the books of law on earth to come and intimidate the judge. they say you have these properties. You have not declared. Do you declare? Are these your properties? Under 1 month, you'll be able to sort that out. Then you have to find out if those properties are his properties. If they are, then where do you get money to acquire these properties? Don't forget, judges are also human beings. They have friends, they have partners, so they can be influenced, except a judge that has social conscience. Today, you even hear some prominent legal luminaries ridiculously saying that law is about technicalities, that they are not interested. They are not interested in facts. They are not interested. All they want is to make their client free.